In this video, we're at section 1.1, which examines characteristics for all persons. Please note that an individual questionnaire is to be completed for every person who has been identified as a usual resident of the household. Before completing the individual questionnaires, you will need to select who the respondent is, as it may not be the actual individual for whom the questionnaire is being completed. Therefore, one member of the household may be responding on behalf of someone else. Question 1.1, name. This is only applicable for the paper questionnaire. First, you need to insert the name of the individual for whom the questionnaire is being filled out. If the name given is different from that on the household roster, once you've determined that it is the same individual, update the household roster to reflect this. 3 fields are provided: first name, last name, and alias. However, census takers are encouraged to record all 3. Questions 1.2a to c, date of birth, age, and birth certificate. What is your date of birth? On the tablet, the date of birth that was entered in the household questionnaire will appear as a static text as a reminder above question 1.2a. You will need to verify with the respondent if this date of birth is correct. B. What is your age at September 12, 2022? It is possible that some persons may not remember their exact date of birth, but can tell you their age. Others may only know the year of birth, and so on. If the respondent gives you the date of birth, record the year, month, and day at question 1.2a. Based on the information, calculate the age in completed years, age at last birthday, at September 12, and record at question 1.2b. You must complete both question 1.2a and question 1.2b. You must make every effort to obtain an estimate of age, as this question must be completed. For babies less than 1 year old, record 0. You can use the age table, which will be provided to guide you in calculating the age at census day, September 12, 2022. Make reference to date of birth on question 1.1 of the household questionnaire, as they should correspond. Question 1.2c, which asks about a birth certificate, is asked to determine how many persons have been issued an actual certificate by the Registrar General's Department, RGD, even if it is not in their possession currently. Note, reference is not to a birth paper or pink paper, but to a birth certificate, and the respondent does not have to produce his or her birth certificate to the census taker. Question 1.3, sex. Record the individual's sex as at birth. The options are male and female. This question does not seek to determine gender. Reference should be made to question 1.1 of the household questionnaire. Question 1.4, relationship to HRP. What is your relationship to the household reference person, HRP? This is the person used solely to determine and identify relationships between household members. Select the category that relates to the individual's relationship to the HRP. Where the word spouse is used, it refers to the legal wife or husband of the HRP. Partner refers to the common law partner. Household reference person, HRP. This is the person determined as the HRP at question 1.3 of the household questionnaire and should be accepted as such. Wife/husband of HRP refers to the wife or husband of the HRP. They should be legally married. Common law partner of HRP refers to a woman or man who lives with but is not married to the HRP. Child of HRP and spouse/partner. To be scored for each child, natural or legally adopted, of the HRP and spouse or partner together. Child in this case refers to a son or daughter of the HRP and spouse or partner together regardless of age. Child of HRP only. To be marked for each child, natural or legally adopted, of HRP only. Child in this context refers to a son or daughter of the HRP regardless of age. Child of spouse/partner only. To be marked for each child, natural or legally adopted, of the spouse or partner only. Child in this context refers to a son or daughter of the spouse or partner regardless of age. In all cases of adoption, the adoption process must be completed for the child to be considered as adopted. In cases where the court has awarded legal guardianship of a child to an adult, the child must be legally adopted to be regarded as a child of the adult mentioned. Spouse/partner of child. To be scored if the individual is the spouse or partner of any child of either the HRP or spouse. Grandchild of HRP/spouse/partner. The grandchild of the HRP/spouse/partner, irrespective of age of the individual. Parent of HRP/spouse/partner. To be scored for each parent of the HRP or spouse. Brother/sister of HRP/spouse/partner. The brother or sister of HRP or his or her spouse or partner. Other relative of HRP/spouse/partner. All members of the household who are related to either the HRP or his or her spouse/partner. For example, cousin of HRP, niece or nephew of spouse or partner, etc. Domestic employee. To be coded for all employees, paid or unpaid, included in the household and who, according to the definition of usual residence, are members of the household. Other non-relative. All other members of the household who are not related to the HRP or spouse. Not stated. To be scored if the information on relationship to the HRP is not given. Question 1.5. Race/ethnic origin. To which race or ethnic group would you say you belong? Read the categories to the respondent and score the relevant category. Some respondents might appear confused by the question, but you might want to remind them of our motto, out of many, one people. The motto was selected because our ancestors came from several parts of the world, namely Africa, India, China, Europe, and the Middle East. This question is a perception question and seeks to determine the ethnicity with which the individual identifies. Score one option only. This should be the main ethnic group to which the person perceives he or she belongs. Accept the respondent's reply. So if a respondent appears African to you, but they say they're Indian, you should score them as Indian. Question 1.6a to c. Religious affiliation/denomination. A. What is your religious affiliation? B. What communion/congregation/denomination are you affiliated with? C. What day is your primary day of worship? These questions seek to determine association with a religion. The word affiliation could cause some amount of confusion, but to most people, it will mean the church they belong to or regularly attend. Question 1.6a seeks to determine association with all religions and not just Christianity. Non-Christian religions include Islam, Judaism, Buddhism, Hinduism, and Baha'i. Question 1.6b seeks to determine if Christianity was selected at question 1.6a, with which denomination the individual is affiliated. Denominations represent church groups within Christianity. If the respondent indicates that he or she belongs to one of those specified, select the relevant category. Remember that the United Church represents a union of Presbyterians, Congregational, and Disciples of Christ. Score other for any denomination or religion not identified. Score none for those individuals who indicate that they do not belong to any religion or denomination. Question 1.6c seeks to identify the respondent's primary day of worship if Christianity was selected at question 1.6a. Note, if the respondent did not score Christianity at question 1.6a, the questionnaire skips to question 1.7. Question 1.7. Marital status. What is your legal marital status? Marital status refers to the legal status of the relationship. This question is to be asked only of persons 16 years and over. If, however, it is clear that the individual, although under 16 years, is married, as for example among certain religious or ethnic groups, ask the question and make a note in the comment section. Married. A person is formally married whether or not they are living with the partner to whom they are legally married. In those cases where East Indians have been married according to the Hindu custom, that is, under the bamboo, or the Muslim rites, score whether or not the marriage has been legally registered. Check this answer with the relationship to household reference person at question 1.4. Check if a person is recorded at question 1.4 of the individual questionnaire as being the husband or wife of the HRP, that the person's marital status should also be married. If, however, they are not married, then change the response at question 1.4 to common law partner of the HRP. The remaining 4 categories, widowed, divorced, legally separated, and never married, are self-explanatory. Please note the following. 1. Married persons who are separated but who have not been through the courts are to be scored as married. 2. A decree absolute must be granted by the court for the person to be considered divorced. A decree absolute is the legal document that ends your marriage. Question 1.8, functioning disability. Do you have any difficulty for a total of 6 functions or activities? This question seeks to determine whether the respondent has any form of physical or mental disability, whether they use an aid or not, and is to be asked of all persons 5 years and older. In order to set the respondent at ease before asking this question, which might be seen as very sensitive, begin by saying the next set of questions ask about difficulties you may experience doing certain activities. Read each category listed and score the level of difficulty experienced for each condition. The level of difficulty ranges from no difficulty to cannot do it at all. If the respondent uses an aid, score the level of difficulty when the aid is used. For example, for someone who wears glasses, score the level of difficulty with the glasses for seeing. For someone who uses a hearing aid, score the level of difficulty with the hearing aid. For someone who uses a walker or a walking stick, score the level of difficulty with the walker. In the final analysis, it is the level of difficulty which will be used to classify the population. The categories are seeing, hearing, walking, or climbing stairs, which are all straightforward, as well as remembering and concentrating, refers to remembering and concentrating even for short periods. Self-care. Score this if the person is dependent on assistance from other people to take care of himself or herself. For example, feeding and bathing oneself and other personal care. Communicating. This refers to communication with other persons, that is, speaking, understanding, or being understood. Remember, you count, me count, all we count.